Hello aspirants. I wish to thank you all for the support which you have provided to this initiative. We provide you current affairs on a daily basis from the Hindu newspaper in a concise manner with background information. So the appreciation, of course, is a boost to us. We'll be continuing with this initiative, but there is an information which I need to share from my end, and that is that I'm expecting, this is my 9th month running, so I would be due anytime, and for some days the initiative would be halted, but it will not be an end. We'll be continuing this till as long as possible. As such, it will not be charged as such too, is also an assurance given. We wish all the very best to all the aspirants preparing for prelims 2018 presently too, and also for other competitive exams. I'm continuing with the initiative presently, but as I don't want to disappear suddenly and create questions and the institute being bombarded with phone calls, I am just informing that yes, this is a fact. So please bear with us. So starting with current affairs for 6th March. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 15. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, 2 militants, 4 civilians killed in Shopian firing incident. So this is regarding Shopian district in Jammu and Kashmir, where an army firing at a speeding vehicle resulted in 2 LET militants being killed and 4 civilians killed. So this has resulted in furor. The region has seen shutdown. The Chief Minister has also expressed her views, Mehbooba Mufti, about the victims, civilians being victims in this actually encounter. So the security forces as such, they have stopped the vehicle here, and when the vehicle did not stop and sped off, they had heavy firing which they say initiated from the vehicle, and in this gunfight the terrorists were killed and 4 youths also died, out of which one was a class 12 student as well. So a complete shutdown, the entire valley has been called for by the separatists, which has been put into effect. Then next is, don't pursue probe against army officer. Supreme Court tells Jammu and Kashmir government. So this is regarding another incident which had taken place earlier in Shopian district in Jammu and Kashmir. So here Major Aditya Kumar as such was the one who was leading a contingent of officers here, a convoy of officers, and this incident in which 3 persons were killed actually has resulted in an FIR being registered by the Jammu and Kashmir state government. So this FIR as such is is being protested against. The Supreme Court has been approached by the army major's father, saying that this is actually demoralizing soldiers fighting for the country. So the incident, you should remember, we have already discussed this incident and this issue which had gone to the Supreme Court. It was actually a case in which the army claims that one of the army personnel was being lynched to death by a mob, and they opened fire on the protesters here, in which 3 persons got killed to save that officer from being lynched to death. So here the FIR which has been launched by the state government as such, the Attorney General of India K.K. Venugopal is protesting against this, that this cannot be done by the state government without taking prior sanction from the center. And the Supreme Court and the state government says that in this FIR, the accused as such, Major Aditya Kumar, has not specifically been named, but it mentions the officer leading the convoy, and he was the one leading the convoy. So, but then Supreme Court is not accepting this explanation from the state government, and it has said that the state government should not pursue this probe against army officer anymore. Then next is 6 more Bengal districts to become ODF soon. So there are 23 districts in the state of West Bengal, and out of these 8 have already been announced as open defecation free. So now 6 more districts are expected to be declared so by March 2018, and this will be done only after Union Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation representatives conduct a review here to check whether all households have individual household latrines. So that would be checked, and only then they would be declared open defecation free. So then it becomes a Nirmal Zilla. So even you should know that West Bengal's district Nadia was the first district in the country to be acknowledged as open defecation free by the center under the Swachh Bharat mission. So the entire state is also expected to become open defecation free by October 2019. So various state governments are making initiatives. So presently the news is regarding West Bengal. So you should know about what is open defecation free means. According to the government, it means the termination of fecal oral transmission. So there will be no visible feces found in the environment and in the village. Every household as well as public community institutions should use safe technology options for disposal of feces. So safe technologies here, that's what we are seeing. Individual household latrines should be there. There should be no contamination of surface soil, groundwater or surface water. So it should be, the excreta should be inaccessible to flies or animals as such. So this is the idea. Then next is threat of new malware looms over cyberspace. So a new malware has now been reported as such. The cybersecurity agencies have detected this new malware, which is called Saposhi. So earlier we have seen such malwares like Mirai and Reaper, and now Saposhi is coming in news. So this is a malware which is capable of taking over electronic devices and turning them into bots. So this bots is a term which is used, means a device which is taken over by a malware. And the purpose for which it is used is DDoS, that is distributed denial of service attack. So this, how does it take place, we'll see. So earlier this Reaper had been detected. The Computer Emergency Response Team of India in October 2017 also had issued an alert regarding Reaper, which was a highly evolved malware which is still affecting devices. So it was not only hacking devices like Wi-Fi routers and security cameras, but also was able to hide its own presence in the bot. So bot is any device which is taken over. So what happens is then these bots are connected, so it becomes a botnet, and this botnet is used to access a particular single server at the same time. So when there is a huge amount of information overload for that, a huge amount of access done to a particular server, then that server that crashes, those services crash. So this is what even Reaper did, what Mirai had also done, and now Saposhi is coming in use. So these DDoS attacks are being done by them. This DDoS attack is shown here to in detail, you can see. So Mirai in 2016 also used a botnet of 5 lakh devices and caused the server of DYN, a leading domain name service provider, to crash. So this affected services of popular websites like Twitter, Netflix, Reddit also in 2016. So here you can see, so this is the owner of this malware. So what he does is through his control servers, he gets access to various devices. So all these devices become bots, bot like robot, bot under him. So these entire net of bots is created, and through the internet they are made to access a particular service. So that server gets compromised because of such huge access being done to it at the same time. So then it crashes. So this is there. So malicious software first creates a network of bots called botnet, then uses it to ping a single server at the same time. And then these pings are far beyond the server's capacity, the server crashes. And then once the server crashes, then it cannot service its consumers. So these are called DDoS attacks, distributed denial of service attacks. Then next is Wells rail tracks turn death traps for Gir lions. So this is regarding Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat, where the Asiatic lions are found. So here it is seen that as many as 32 lions have died due to unnatural causes. So of course, lion death take place due to natural causes, but unnatural causes like falling into wells or being run over by trains and vehicles has also resulted in deaths of lions. 32 lions have died in the last 2 years, 2016 and 17. So these wells which are there without parapet walls, they often become a death trap for lions. So the state government here is saying that they will take initiatives of even constructing parapet walls for the wells which are open, and also there will be fences created along the railway tracks passing through this Amreli district where the wildlife sanctuary is located, and also speed breakers would be put on roads passing through the sanctuary area so that such unnatural deaths can be reduced. So as per 2015 census, there are 523 lions in and around the Gir wildlife sanctuary in Gujarat. So these Asiatic lions, you can see their numbers shown here according to 2015 census. Out of 523 lions, 167 are outside the protected areas. So this is the Gir Wildlife Sanctuary here in Gujarat, and the adjoining regions, you can see the number of lions in the adjoining regions of the sanctuary shown here. And this is the lion deaths taking place due to natural and unnatural causes. So of course, due to natural causes also, lion, lioness and cub deaths have taken place in the year 2016-17, but unnatural deaths of total 32 has also taken place in the last 2 years. Then next is Jaitley promises special package for Andhra Pradesh. So Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has assured TDP, Telugu Desam Party, that announcements would soon be made on special packages for the Andhra Pradesh state government, and 4 other of the 19 demands of the party would also be announced as such. So these are expected to be like formation of a railway zone, which has been promised. So when Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated into 2 separate states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, so for this bifurcation, a roadmap was formulated of what would be done. So under this, there were provisions like, a special package would be announced, and also that a new railway zone would be there for the successor state of Andhra Pradesh. So some of these promises would now be fulfilled, as it has been stated: a greenfield crude oil refinery in Kakinada, also a steel plant as such in YSR district of Andhra Pradesh. So all these plants, some of them, because this was done under the former UPA government, the present BJP government has been delaying this. The special package has not been announced yet. So now the special package is also set to be announced as such, and these initiatives would also be taken. Then next is India-China step up engagement. So India and China relations as such, we are seeing that after the Doklam standoff, which lasted for 73 days in 2017, resulted in differences between the 2 countries being further entrenched. Of course, we had differences in other issues also, like the Maulana Masood Azhar case, even the NSG membership, which was being blocked by China, India's NSG membership. So these were issues already there, and Doklam standoff also resulted in heightened tension between the 2 countries. But now it is seen that the steps are being taken to improve the ties between the 2 countries. In March 2018, ministerial level meetings are going to take place, and also there will be a summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping. So this summit in June 2018 will take place. That is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, to which India has been accepted as a full-time member along with Pakistan. So this summit in June 2018, where the 2 leaders would also meet, is due in this year. So this is there. Also recently, China has shown that India's concerns have been acknowledged. India has been supported by it agreeing to even Pakistan's nomination in Financial Action Task Force grey list listing. So this in February 2018, we saw China was earlier supporting Pakistan, but finally it agreed to Pakistan's nomination. So this was a positive initiative taken. Also, now further initiatives will be taken. Strategic economic dialogue is expected between India and China, with officials from Niti Aayog and China's top planning body, NDRC, National Development and Reform Commission, the officials meeting here. So India and China are coming closer, taking steps to coming closer is being highlighted here. So you should know about SCO also, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So this is a regional grouping comprising of 6, but now 8 nations after India and Pakistan have been added. So here you can see. So India, Pakistan joined in June 2017. So the other members, 2 prominent countries are Russia and China, and then Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. So these were the 6 members, and now India and Pakistan have been added, taking the membership to 8. So this is SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Others are these observer states. India and Pakistan were earlier observer states, now have become full-time members. Then next is US aircraft carrier arrives in Vietnam on a landmark visit. So US aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson. So aircraft carrier is a ship which can carry aircrafts, or from which aircrafts can land, take off. So this aircraft carrier has arrived in Vietnam for the first time since the end of Vietnam War. So Vietnam War is an important period in the Cold War history. You should know about it. We'll see about Vietnam War also. So now the strategic ties between two former foes, enemies, is changing. So China had actually supported Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and now because of China's increasing influence in the South China Sea region and dispute between Vietnam and China also in this issue has resulted in US showing its presence here, the relation between these two countries, US and Vietnam, improving. So there are growing strategic ties between these two nations now. So here you can see, so the 1975 when the Vietnam War ended, since then this is the biggest US military presence in Vietnam. So here you can see, I mean, this US carrier frequently actually flies South China Sea because of the naval developments by Chinese naval vessels in this region. So China is rapidly constructing and building up land in this disputed South China Sea region. Artificial islands are being built. The Spratly Island is a disputed island in which China and Vietnam both are laying stake along with other regional countries also. So this disputed waterway, the South China Sea waterway, which is the important trade route through which around $3 trillion in trade passes each year. So this is where China wants to stake its claim, and these regional countries here, including Vietnam, are now coming closer to US. So this is regarding Vietnam War timeline too. So in 1945, Ho Chi Minh here, the leader, declared Vietnamese independence from France. So France was a colonial ruler here in Vietnam. This is an Asian country here. You can see China lies here. This is Vietnam. So here it was French rule. Then in 1945, once this declaration was done, Vietnam and France went on war in 1946, and here US supported Vietnam. So US President Truman actually sent aid to France in this war effort. China became a communist country in 1949, and here you can see that China was supporting the leaders here in Vietnam. So the leader of Vietnam, so with support of China, came to power. Even South Vietnamese army as such killed this leader Diem in 1963 and assumed power. But eventually Gulf of Tonkin resolution was passed, and North Vietnam attacked American destroyer ship here, and the war escalated. The Cold War as such escalated, and you can see after this too, after the Gulf of Tonkin incident too, then there were ceasefires signed eventually, and America finally evacuated Vietnam in 1975. So this is the Vietnam War as such, and this is the present situation. When we see that Vietnam, China and other Southeast Asian nations like Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, etc. are having disputes with China, because this red line called the 9-dash line is what China claims as its domain. And these blue dotted lines are the lines which each of these countries are claiming as their exclusive economic zones under UN clause, United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea, which allows 200 nautical miles beyond their shore to be declared as EEZs, exclusive economic zones. So Vietnam's EEZ also is overlapping with China's claim. And these partly islands are the disputed islands on which Vietnam, Philippines and China and others also have claim. Then next is US trying to interfere in our presidential polls, Russia. So Russian President Vladimir Putin, we have seen, is expected to be re-elected as president. The elections are due presently in March itself. And now Russia is claiming that US is trying to interfere in these presidential elections. Although Russia is the one who has been earlier accused of hacking and meddling with elections, it has been accused of even meddling with elections of US president as such in 2016. Also, various European politicians have also accused Russia of interfering with elections in their nations. Russia has so far denied these allegations, and now Russia itself is saying that US is trying to interfere in their elections. So Vladimir Putin, the presidential elections are due on March 18, and Vladimir Putin is expected to be comfortably re-elected. So here you can see the Russian president has also said that more than 400 foreign spies have been identified and thwarted in 2017. And also the Domestic Intelligence Agency FSB of Russia has been asked to act to further block foreign attempts to obtain political, economic and military information as such. So such are the allegations now being made by Russia. Then next is Services PMI contracts to 47.8. So this is regarding Nikkei India Services Business Activity Index. So Services PMI. So this is a private sector index. So this index we have been discussing every month. It comes out with a value. So for the month of February 2018, Services PMI is at 47.8%. So this is below 50% mark. So above 50% mark, it shows expansion in activity, and below 50% contraction. So this has been a contraction in the month of February seen. Though the rate of contraction is also said to be the fastest since August 2017. So this services sector is said to be affected mainly because of decline in new orders. So this is the February month's PMI. So here you can see over the months from last Feb to this Feb is shown. So it had taken a huge dip in July when GST was put into effect, and then from August it has been gaining, seeing a dip in November, and now again in February it has gone below 50% mark. Then next is RBI to inject extra liquidity of rupees 1 lakh crore. So RBI has announced that it will put in additional liquidity of rupees 1 lakh crore in banks through longer tenure instruments. So this will bring in flexibility for the banks to meet their fund requirements. So this, it says, is in addition to the normal liquidity adjustment facility operations. So liquidity adjustment facility is there given by RBI. So this is for all scheduled commercial banks excluding regional rural banks. So here they can avail of liquidity. So they can even, when there is a requirement of funds by them, they can take it from RBI, and also excess funds can be parked with RBI as such. So this is an overnight basis, adjustment facility which is provided. So against government securities. So this is through the repo and reverse repo, the repurchase agreement. So through repo and reverse repo, RBI provides liquidity to banks. So a liquidity adjustment is done for banks. So apart from this, now RBI is saying that it would provide additional liquidity for long tenor instruments. So this variable repo rate operations additionally would be provided to banks. So RBI is going to conduct 4 variable rate repo auctions of 25,000 crore each, coming to rupees 1 lakh crore in all in March 2018. So this has been announced. Also, apart from liquidity adjustment facility, there is another term which you should know about, marginal standing facility. So this is the rate at which scheduled banks can borrow funds overnight from RBI against government securities, and this is very short-term borrowing by banks. So through marginal standing facility also, overnight funds can be borrowed up to 1% of their net demand and time liabilities. So this is there. So LAF and MSF are 2 facilities which already RBI provides for liquidity adjustment, but then MSF is at much higher rate than LAF, and also here even SLR money can be put into the at stake for the bank to borrow from RBI. So it's at up to 1% of net demand and time liabilities. Then next is Committee to Regulate FinTech Sector Setup. So the central government has set up a steering committee under the chairmanship of Economic Affairs Secretary to look into development and regulation of FinTech sector, means financial technology sector in India. So here India, the government wants to encourage financial technology sector. So the regulation should be made more flexible, and also enhanced entrepreneurship is what is being sought in this area. So the committee would give its viewpoints on how financial technology sector, fintech sector can be leveraged to enhance financial inclusion of even micro, small and medium enterprises. So that will also be one of the focus of this body. So other members are also there in this steering committee which has been established. So even UIDI CEO is also part of this. You can see financial technology sector, the most sought after verticals, means amongst the financial technology sector, one of the most important sectors is payments and mobile wallet sector. So peer-to-peer lenders and online small and medium enterprises financing are also in great demand. So various startups have also come up in this sector. India is ranked third in terms of smartphone generation in the world, but there is low penetration of banking as such. So the financial technology companies as such have an opportunity here, like payment wallets, mobile wallets. So these financial technologies can bring in financial inclusion too, and also assist small and medium enterprises. So this will be looked into. Regulation for fintech sector as such would also be looked into, and even encouraging entrepreneurship here. Then next is go digital high, pushing firms to become efficient, responsive. So it is said that companies are facing ever increasing pressure to become more open, responsive and efficient. So because of the digital push. So the rules of the game are changing. It is said traditional players are being dislodged from position of comfort and familiarity through this. What is this? It's called digital disruption. Means industries are being disrupted by new entrants with digital technology. So digital technology is resulting in these disruptions. An example as such, some examples are also given here. So the digital technology can be used to provide better, more personalized services to customers, also to understand the trend, develop algorithms to improve knowledge and target more effectively. So all this is possible through digital information. So this digital disruption, it is said, is happening. The largest movie house owns no cinemas, that is Netflix. The largest software vendor does not write the apps. Apple, Google, they are not writing the apps themselves. The fastest growing bank has no actual money. The popular media owners create no content, like Facebook. Large phone companies own no telecom infrastructure, like Skype, WeChat. The largest accommodation providers own no real estate. The world's largest taxi company owns no taxis, like Uber. So this is called digital disruption. Okay. So the traditional players are being affected and are being pushed towards digitization too because of these new entrants which use digital technology. The next is data leak issues push firms to work apps. So this is a messaging software because WhatsApp has its concerns. The work apps has come up as an alternative to WhatsApp for various companies. So this is an Indian app, work apps chat. So WhatsApp, we are seeing that communication for official chats in companies, when it is done through WhatsApp, then there are concerns of data leaks as such, and privacy standards as such are not so up to the mark. So that is why this vocab chats, which provides restrictions on copying and forwarding messages, even bars taking screenshots, is being highly looked forward to by various companies which are shifting to vocab chat. So recently also we saw in SEBI the case which is going on before SEBI regarding issue of unpublished price sensitive information being leaked to outsiders over WhatsApp. So such cases happening results in better software better app being looked forward to, that is work apps chat. So it has various security features. It disables file downloads. It deletes data when a particular employee exits from it too. So it allows companies to know the location of the employees too. So such features of work apps chat is making it more popular than WhatsApp in various companies which are adopting it. And the last news item is artificial intelligence based flying brain to assist ISS astronauts. So So this is artificial intelligence based system. This is called Simon, Crew Interactive Mobile Companion. So this has been developed by Germany's DLR Space Administration. So a technology demonstrator of this means the initial Simon, which is weighing around 5 kg, will be tested on International Space Station. So you should know about International Space Station too. This is a space station, a habitable in artificial satellite in low Earth orbit. So the first component of it was also launched in 1998. It can be viewed from the naked eye from Earth as such. So it's a joint project of 5 participating space agencies, that is NASA of USA, Roscosmos of Russia, JAXA of Japan, European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency. So the ownership and use of the space station is established by intergovernmental treaties and agreements amongst these 5 groups. So here we have seen that the space station has also been divided into 2 sections. One is the Russian orbital segment and the US orbital segment. So both have been working together on this, Russia and USA. It is having solar arrays which power it too. And American space shuttles were earlier used, but now they have retired. So Russian spacecrafts as well as private sector spacecrafts like we have seen Falcon of SpaceX, they take equipments on this space station, International Space Station, which has astronauts here and Space Environment Research Laboratory here, which is conducting experiments, in biology, astronomy, etc. So this International Space Station, you should know, it's at an altitude of 330 to 435 kilometer above the surface of the Earth. So it's the 9th space station as such, which has so far been inhabited by crews. Earlier attempts have also been made by Russia and US. So it has been continuously been occupied since it has been launched in 1998 till date. So US space shuttle program, as I said, it ended in 2011. Soyuz rockets provide transfer of equipments. Astronauts are sent in space on them. So this is there. So the American portion of ISS has been funded until 2024. So post this, how would it continue, whether both would work together or it would be separated off, we'll have to wait and watch. But up to 2024, the provisions are already in place and Russia and USA are working together here in space technology, International Space Station as such. So on this International Space Station, present news is that an artificial intelligence based space assistant would be sent. So this technology demonstrate would only be a 5 kg, such balloon as such. It is called a flying brain. So it is made of plastic and metal. It has been created using 3D printing. So this will be supporting astronauts in performing routine work. So like displaying procedures, offering solutions to problems. So it will be having a face, a voice and artificial intelligence. So it will become a genuine colleague to the astronauts on board. So it will be sent in space during European Space Agency's Horizon mission between June and October 2018. So it will be tested then. This will be the first technology demonstrator. This has been called Simon, Crew Interactive Mobile Companion. So it will also be able to give early warning system, act as an early warning system for technical problems as such. So this is the news. So these are the news items. Thank you.